Come on in. Samantha thinks I'm talking to her. She's climbing back up in the window. She likes a sunbeam. She's gotten in the habit of coming into this room late, mid afternoon. I think she thinks I'm going to feed her, but she's had eggs today. She's had sloop. She's had all kinds of stuff. So she can't be hungry. She can't be hungry, but you never know. She's curled up in her little bed. Her little bed gets so much hair on it, I just have to throw it away sometimes. It can't get clean. And it drives me nuts. But she's in her sunbeam. Let me see if I can show you. Let me see if I can show you. There she is. She's looking at us. She's just, look at that. There she is, right there. And her little biscuit. I mean, this is a cat that stayed hidden most of her life. We used to get these plug-in things that would help her. It had pheromones in it. Finally, I think she just didn't like having a second cat in the house. When Penrod went away, she came out of her shell, and she likes me. And Penrod, he never cared. Just he liked everybody. So get on in here. I'm trying to get my microphone where it doesn't hurt. Come on in. Let me get the chat up. I had to take the chat down for me this morning because I can't focus and talk at the same time, answering all your questions. Anyway, so prompt. Well, I don't know about being prompt. I was in here and I got my makeup on and touched up, and I thought, well, it was 2:57, and I said, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Afternoon from Orlando. Hey, Sage and Trisha. Y'all got to check out one of Patera's posts from yesterday. It was about, and Carla may be able to help us with this, but it was about a canning company that was in Knoxville that are all over the country for the Latter-day Saints. They have a thing about like to have a supply of food. It used to be 2 years. I don't know if it's still 2 years. Carla can tell us if she gets in here, but it's where I learned about stockpile, not really stockpiling, having a working pantry, because they teach people to have a stocked pantry so that you can, in the event of illness, death in the family, losing a job, just lots of things that I have leftover coffee. Robert tried to steal my coffee a while ago. But they teach this so that desperate people don't do desperate things like steal bread, you know? You don't need to steal. You need to be prepared. I want you to have a 3 years worth, but say start at 6 months. That's great. But I learned from a lovely lady. Let's see, where are her books? I don't know how I found her books, but I was a young mother, and everyone's a homemaker. And this was Beverly Nye was her name. I'm sure she's gone to be with the Lord now. But she taught about homemaking. And I went to, in high school, I had 4 years of home economics, but I also had 4 years of science and 4 years of math. And didn't have a whole lot of, I had American history. I didn't have any civics or anything. I've taught myself all of that. But I read the Constitution. And it was just reading her books. And they were fun books to read. I got 3 of them. Her name's Beverly Nye. And she taught some wonderful things. And they had recipes and just pleasantness, just beautiful things. But she taught about having these stockpiles, and Patera was brought it back to my memory yet last night when I watched her video about a canning company where you could get the number 10 cans, the big cans of freeze dried food. And she said you could go volunteer, and I don't know if she meant get a discount or whatever, but there is one of these canneries in West Knoxville. Somebody says Peter's in here from Old Man King Homestead. I haven't watched him in a couple of weeks, and I haven't seen if he's gotten moved yet. Hey, Peter. Anyway, it was an interesting topic. I had no idea that, and I have been, let's just say, Salt Lake City has been good to me. The the Mormon family, Eric and his family are Mormon. Um, Amy, our songwriter, it's just they have been very good to me. Precious is more the word. They're family, and we have been all over. They have such great works building wells in places where people don't have water and all kinds of good stuff. We've been everywhere. Anyway, having a supply of food in these number 10 cans. She was talking about the freeze dried carrots, the freeze dried apples or dried apples. I don't know if they're freeze dried or not, but how wonderful they were. You could just eat the apples out of the can, and it has a 30-year shelf life. Can you imagine having something with a 30-year shelf life? So, and they were $40 a can. She said they might have gone up, and they have them like regionally. You probably do a search for them and find where the closest one is to you. Mormons love our sweet fly. Well, the biggest audience I have ever been in front of was at the American Mother Conference in Salt Lake City, and there was the building held 21,000. I think there were about 12,000 there. We debuted some of our music there, and Amy was almost 9 months pregnant and could not travel. She was in Las Vegas, but now she lives in northern Utah, and it was a beautiful time. It was just a beautiful time. I got to tour all the things that they do and how they sort clothing and to send to third world countries, and the the water, the stuff that they do, and it's just beautiful. So, and Patty was with me for all of this stuff. They have a a garden on top of a building that's across the way from the temple in Salt Lake City. But it was just a beautiful time. Just a beautiful time. And speaking in front of all those people, and the producer of the event that I spoke at, he wanted a copy of my speech. And I said, I don't have a pre-written speech. And I said, all you need to do is there's a time clock. When it gets down to 2 minutes, I'll see the 2 minutes, and I'll wind my speech up and it'll be done. And I was the afternoon keynote speaker, and Stephen Covey was the morning keynote speaker. And at lunchtime, he uh, called us into his dressing room. He wanted to know what the fly lady was. And I said, "Well, Dr. Covey, it's like this. Once they get my calendar and they learn how to use a calendar, they can use your planner quite easily." And he laughed. God rest his soul. He died on a bicycle. So, y'all, be careful. Be careful. Be careful on a bicycle. And steps. Steps. Be careful on steps. Use a handrail. Be careful. I had a friend that I grew up with. She had done several tours in the Middle East, and she died falling down steps. The anniversary of another friend who died today. He fell down steps. It was a freak accident. He was coming up the steps, his foot hit the step, it broke in half, and he fell backwards and hit his head, and he was brain dead. So, y'all, be careful. Hold on. Don't hold on to your phone. You've all got pockets. Put your phone in your pocket. Hold on to the rails. You know, we have to take it slow and steady, not be in a hurry. Being in a hurry makes mistakes. I looked up 18 steps to stop the explosion in your kitchen, and I'm working on that for tomorrow. We can tear our kitchens up because we get in a hurry. Justin's friend, Gig, who has surgery tomorrow, he was in a hurry to put his boots out in the garage because he didn't like them sitting out. Sometimes we just have to let go of our ADHD and just slow down. That's why sitting here listening to my clock go tick, 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 tick. I watch the 11th hour on Tuesdays, and they have a clock. Sometimes just hearing the clock tick, 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 tick. Only time I hear it is in here. Well, Rachel, take some time and just pare down your stuff that you have in your kitchen. Just pare it down. We just have to be still sometimes. I have a cup somewhere. It's in my cup cabinet. Be still and know. Just be still. You know, when we're rushing around all the time, we can't hear from the Lord. I was listening to this young woman who hears words from the Lord. We all can hear words if we just be still. But she heard just a few minutes ago, buy oil. Well, I thought that was funny because she didn't take it the way I took it. You have to ask for discernment. And she was thinking about buying stock in oil. Well, you don't want delivery of crude oil because that's how it's sold. But you know, in the Bible, there was this parable that Jesus talked about of the 10 virgins, the brides, that the bridegroom was coming, and 5 of them had enough oil for their lamps to be able to wait for the bridegroom to come. 5 of them had to go searching for oil in the middle of the night to be able to have extra. They thought about having the 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 5 that were wise were prepared, the lamps were ready, the wicks were trimmed, and they didn't have to go out and buy oil. And the ones that had to go out and buy oil, they missed they missed the bridegroom. The door was locked, never to come open again. So Camille, I think is her name, Hedrick or something, and I didn't I didn't her, her word was what she got was buy oil. I think it's buy oil for her lamps. But we don't know. I've got lots of oil. I've got lots of tea lights. I saw somebody the other day taking oil and wicks and putting them in baby food jars and sticking the wick up through the lid on the baby food jar to make small little lamps. Be prepared, I think was the message from Camille. Be prepared. Be ready with a stocked pantry. With a stocked pantry. With the things you need to be able to pull a meal together. Something to feed your family. Yeah, so exactly what I thought meant olive oil. And our olive oil people are just amazing. I mean, this is the best olive oil I've ever put in my mouth. It's just wonderful. And you can dress it up or you can keep it plain and simple. You can put some herbs in a bowl and put a little olive oil with it and dip your bread in it. It's just beautiful olive oil. And you don't think about olive oil tasting different from Portugal to Spain or South or Argentina, and they have olive oils from all over the world. Earlier this week, I shared, or it was last week, I shared the my favorite olive oil people, and they live in Asheville. They're friends of ours. We have the same doctor. I use TJ's olive oil. It is so good. Yes, it is. And now we've become an olive oil snob. I love it. But it's the best olive oil ever. The best ever. And y'all have been waiting for Justin to do his chicken nachos, his ranch chicken nachos. I saw this recipe last night where this lady had taken a bundt pan, but it was one of those big heavy ones that are decorative, or they just have I don't know what the brand is of them, but I have one of them, and I gave Emily one of them. I was decluttering at Christmas time for her to make a gingerbread cake in, and they made nachos in a bundt pan, and they put a layer of cheese down in the bottom of it, and then they put some black olives and some diced tomatoes and different things, and a can of black beans, and put some tortillas in it and just layered them in there. Not just dumped them in, just laid them flat and put them in there. Hamburger meat, and just layered it up. Look for nachos in a bundt pan on YouTube. And it was the most interesting thing. And it was so simple. And she put it in the oven for 15 minutes. And then she turned it over, and her pan was a heavy pan, and it was really hot and heavy. So she had to let it cool a little bit so she could get the pan up out of it. And it was just a great pan of nachos for any party. I'm going to try that next time we have some specialty party. But she just layered all this stuff in it, put the tortillas in there, and then just heated it up in the oven. But the olive oil we get from the olive oil people, TJ, is amazing stuff. I share it with Justin and Emily. Who was it? Sophia Loren, old actress. All she ever put on her face was olive oil. Olive oil person. Yeah, TJ is our olive oil person. If you get my email, just look in my emails for olive oil. I don't think it's on our website. But I follow some people in Portugal, and they go to an olive oil refinery. They get the olives out of the trees. And the Bible talks about harvesting olives and leaving some of the fruit for the poor people and for the critters. And they take these olives in crates to the refinery, and they split the harvest with the refinery. So that they pay in oil. And when you read the Bible, you hear people who owe so many, I don't know what the size is, but say it's liters of olive oil is their debt. Olive oil is just good stuff. It's just good, rich stuff. It's it's just it's wonderful. I think it's God's oil. It's not overly processed. I get my olive oil from the olive oil hunter, TJ, and he's a chef, and he got to looking for the best olive oil in the world. I like coconut oil too. In fact, funny story, I buy coconut oil by the gallon, and it's hard, and it's in a big tub, and I think I have 25 pounds of it in my pantry for storage. But I take the olive oil and I fill my sink up with hot water, and it's not super hot water. It gets liquefied, and I have a little jar that I use every day. And before bed, I eat a tablespoon of it. I swish around in my mouth. I swallow it. It's I have, with God's help, and it was His idea, to use olive oil as a way to coat my stomach to deal with acid reflux, and I have healed my acid reflux. And so the other day I had this big tub and never been opened, and I put it in my sink and put some hot water in the sink, and it must have not have been sealed very well because it came out, and I didn't want to lose the olive oil down the drain. I didn't want it to stop up my sink because you don't need to spit olive oil down your sink. You're going to get a clog. And I've been through a clog in my kitchen sink a few months ago, and it was not fun, but we finally got it cleared out. But the thing is, some people are allergic to coconut oil, but it's good for what ails you, pretty much. And I had this puddle in the sink of this olive oil that had leaked out. I poured what I needed to into my little a pint container, and then I had this olive oil in the sink. So I took my paper towels and I laid it over the water and let the paper towels soak up the olive oil. And then I put those in my tub. So I used that to moisturize my skin. And it was good. I use it as a mouthwash. I use it as a moisturizer. I I use it to take makeup off. I use it for everything. So coconut oil and olive oil are mainstays at our house. It's really good for you. I wish I could get Robert. Robert says it's too greasy for him. He doesn't much like it, but it soaks in pretty quick. It soaks in. And even Samantha likes the coconut oil. She likes butter too. And mayonnaise, anything with oil in it. Yeah, I did see how fluffy it is now? I got all the oil out of my hair last night. I love to cook my eggs in coconut oil, but I also like butter too. If somebody's got my latest email from it, I don't have it right in front of me because it's a specified link. Maybe I'll send it out again when I get through here. So sign up and get our emails, and I'll send you the link to the olive oil stuff. Have you tried ghee for cooking? Yes. I like butter. I like the milk solids in butter. Ghee just has the milk solids taken out. I buy butter by 20 pounds at a time. It gets shipped to me, the grass-fed butter from Ireland. Have to work now, but keep on listening, yeah. Anyway, folks, y'all be good, kind, and sweet. Keep Jack and Gig and Joy in your prayers and all my other fly babes. Carrie's gold. Yep, that's it. Need to get back to tomorrow's messages. That's what I do from 2 to 4. And then I do the flight plan. But I take out a little time to spend at tea time. That's why I buy mine on Amazon and it gets shipped to me. I've got the free shipping stuff and it just pays for itself practically. Well, folks, start stocking that pantry if you hadn't done it yet. What are you waiting for? You can get online and the Mormons will teach you how. We'll teach you how. Marie at Homestead Heart will teach you how. Patera will teach you how. I have a funny story about whipping cream. I thought of it this morning and somebody just put whipping cream. You can make butter with whipping cream. And the first time I ever whipped cream with a hand mixer as a child, I was like 11 years old. I I had already put the sugar in and I turned it into sweet butter. Sweet butter. It never happened again, but you can put cream in a Ziploc bag and let the kids play with it and work it around and work it around and work it around. And you can turn that into butter, or you can put it in a jar and shake it and turn that into butter. I have never ordered from Azure Standard. I've watched um, Marie at Homestead Heart pick up her order, how they meet at a parking lot and the truck gets emptied. I've seen people make cheese from like day old whole milk and and put some curdle in it of some kind. I don't know what it is that they add to it, but they make mozzarella, fresh mozzarella cheese, honey butter. I'm allergic to honey. Somebody said they were allergic to coconut oil. I'm allergic to honey. I would love to be able, and I think I got allergic to honey when I worked a 5-gallon bucket of wild honey that my stepfather had found, and he brought it to me, and I just let it gravity drain in a pillowcase over my kitchen sink to 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 can this honey. And Brooke and Jason at Cog Hill Farms, they have a honey farm, and they have people who work their bees, and they have Cog Hill honey now. I may have to try some of that. But she says real honey will crystallize, and all you got to do is just set it in some warm water and it will decrystallize. Somebody makes cheese with lemon juice. That's so fun. Memories of Manuka honey. I have a little jar of Manuka honey, and it's for infections. It's supposed to be real good at injuries. You know, God put those bees on this earth. Robert was saying the other night he had in the past had tasted of mead, which is like a beer made from honey. He said it was the awful stuff he had ever tasted. Anyway, folks, y'all be good, kind, and sweet. Life is good. Life is good. What's for dinner? God made some wonderful stuff. I don't know. I think frankincense is pretty expensive. Anyway, somebody's having tacos, leftovers. I had some eggs for lunch. Samantha helped me eat them. Soup made with leftovers. That's the best kind. Taco salad. You know, it might be a Mexican night. It's true. Anyway, folks, I'll see you in the morning. We're gonna get our house ready for the weekend. I love leftover spaghetti, Pam. Love it. We had barbecue chicken earlier this week. Robert got a huge piece of chicken, and Samantha had just about eaten all my barbecue. And I said, "Can I have a bite of your chicken?" And he said, "You can have this, and I'll take the rest of your barbecue." I don't think he liked it. Y'all, tell Peter bye. He's getting ready to move soon. God bless him and all my other fly babies. Anyway, I will see you later. Bye. Be ready to stand up for what you believe in. I watched a pastor from Calvary Chapel in California who was the stand-in chaplain for Congress, and they told him he couldn't use Jesus's name or anything, and he got up there and he did it all. Our Father in heaven couldn't do that. He stood up and he prayed. He didn't make any exceptions. I was so proud of him. Saw it on YouTube. See y'all later. Standing on the promises. Let that light shine. The light is in here, y'all. It's shining through us. Right here. I love James Cadiz too, but it wasn't his church. It wasn't his pastor. Well, he's the pastor of that Signal Hill Calvary Chapel, but it was another Calvary Chapel. I mean, my sister Patty goes to a Calvary Chapel, and he was the stand-in chaplain. I don't know if it was the Senate or if it was Congress. Anyway, y'all be good, kind, and sweet, and I will see you tomorrow when we bless our homes. It's Jack Hips. Yep, I think that's who it was. That's who it was. So it's last day of February, and we start a new habit tomorrow, getting dressed to lace up shoes. Now, pick out your outfit right now that you're going to put on tomorrow. To God be the glory. Great things he hath done. And y'all read the book of John, the Gospel of John. It is amazing. I'm reading it right now, and I've gone back and read it a second time, starting over in it because it's so good. It's my favorite gospel too, because it just tells things a little different way. I love you all. See you later.